Dear students, today I'm going to explain you about the local self-government. In India, we have decentralization, which means division of power. At the top level, we have the central government. Below the central government, we have the various state governments. Below the state governments, we have the local self government at rural as well as the urban level. This is division of power. The success of a democratic system largely depends upon the existence and efficient operation of system of local self-government at the grassroots levels. Local self-government, which is also known as local government, is a system of direct and active involvement of the people of a local area into the administration of local affairs for the satisfaction of local needs with the help of local resources and through organized local efforts. Local self government is always a means for providing political education and training to the people, without which they cannot become well functioning and active participants in the democratic system. Through their participation in the administration of local self government, the people get psychologically and socially involved in the process of politics, and their achievements at the local level always contribute towards the achievement of the goal of nation building. Local self government provides a very useful opportunity to the people for receiving self education and training. The organizational structure of local self government at rural level comprises of Panchayati Raj. Panchayati Raj is a three-tier system designed to secure the creation of institution of self governments. At the first level, that is the panchayat at the village level, acting as a directly elected local organization entrusted with the task of securing local needs and civic amenities for the people living in the village, that is the panchayat area. Then the Gram Panchayat is also the part of this Panchayati Raj. Gram Panchayat plays very important role. The composition means who all are the members of Gram Panchayat, how are the elections held, and what is the tenure. Mostly all elected bodies, they have the tenure of 5 years in our country. This is like an executive body because it can also be dissolved before the expiry of the tenure of 5 years. Then this Gram Panchayat consists of a sarpanch who is also a pradhan and the vice president of the gram. He is also an ex officio member. The members of Gram Panchayat are elected by the members of Gram Sabha. In Gram Sabha, all those are the members, those who have attained the age of 18 years. The elections to Gram Sabha are held on the basis of universal adult franchise. Gram Panchayat, the qualifications required to contest the elections to Gram Panchayat are as follows. The person must have attained the age of 21 years of age, must be a registered voter, must be mentally sound, and should not be a criminal. Then there is a provision for reservation of seats for scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and women. The functions of Gram Panchayat are as follows. They perform some of the civic functions and the developmental functions, the regulatory functions, and the judicial functions as well. The judicial functions are performed by Nyay Panchayat, that is, they give justice to the people at local level. As far as civic facilities are concerned, they provide people with safe drinking water, wells, tanks, and also they take care of health centers and they maintain dispensaries. They also take care of the primary and secondary education of the people of that area, and also they take care of the roads, footpaths, drainage system, and the street lights. Apart from this, they perform various functions of welfare. Then developmental functions are actually optional if they have extra funds, that is, they provide vocational education, irrigation and electrification, rural housing, and develop cottage and small scale industries so that maximum number of people should get employment. Regulatory and general administrative function includes that they help the government to maintain law and order in their area. Then registration of birth, deaths and marriages is done. Maintenance of village common property is also taken care of. Maintenance of watch and ward services also takes place at this level. Then through Nyay Panchayat, they perform certain judicial functions, and they only remain confined to small petty cases that only has a fine up to 1000 rupees. Rest of the major cases will go to the state governments. Now next level is at the block level, that is the Panchayat Samiti. This is also known as the intermediate level of Panchayati Raj institution. So the most popular name, however, happens to be Panchayat Samiti. Otherwise, it is also known as the intermediate level, and in different states, different name is given. Like in Madhya Pradesh, the name given is the Janpada Panchayat. Assam is given the Anchalik Panchayat. In Tamil Nadu, they call it Panchayat Union, but the most popular is the Panchayat Samiti. Now, Panchayat Samiti, it is the intermediate level which coordinates the activities of village panchayats in each block. Then, in a majority of states, the jurisdiction of Panchayat Samiti is the coextensive with the block, which is generally a smaller unit compared with the taluka. In some states, the jurisdiction of this intermediate level is coextensive with that of taluka. Then, the intermediate tier of Panchayati Raj generally comprises the following categories of members. There are following members in this. They are 6 to 10 members of Panchayat Samiti are elected directly by the voters of all constituencies falling within the area of Panchayat Samiti. In fact, one member of Panchayat Samiti is elected for a population unit of 15,000. Then there are elected representatives of the sarpanches of panchayats, local MLAs, MLCs, that is member of legislative councils, persons representing women, scheduled caste and tribes whose seats or without the right to vote are also there. Persons representing women, scheduled caste, tribes are also, their seats are also reserved. The tenure for Panchayat Samiti is 5 years in all the states. Then the Panchayat Samiti ordinarily meets at least 6 times in each year for the transaction of its business, and not more than 2 months are to be allowed to be elapsed between any 2 successive meetings. Then the Panchayat Samiti in its very first meeting elects 2 of its members as chairman and vice chairman. The tenure is of 5 years. Then the functions performed by Panchayat Samiti are as follows. They perform certain civic facilities and welfare functions, and also there are supervisory and delegated functions. In civic facilities, They develop cottage, handloom, handicraft, village industries. They take care of rural health and also water supply. They support agriculture, animal husbandry, and the fisheries. Also, they take care of rural employment. Social welfare improves status of women, children, welfare of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe also comes under the civic facilities. Then are the supervisory functions of Panchayat Samiti, that is, they take care of roads, bridges, higher education, supervises the work of Gram Panchayats under it. It exercises control over the functioning of block development officer and assistant. Also examines the budget of Gram Panchayat under it. Then the delegated functions, they improve overall quality of life in rural areas, serves as a link between Gram Panchayat and Zilla Parishad because it is an intermediate level. So they serve as a link between the first level, that is the Gram Panchayat, and the highest level at the apex level is the Zilla Parishad. So they take care of that also. Then I will come to now Zilla Parishad, which is at the district level. This is the highest in the Panchayati Raj institution, the apex body. That is the top tier of the Panchayati Raj. First is the Gram Panchayat. Second is the intermediate level, that is Panchayat Samiti. At the top level or the top tier, the apex is the Zilla Parishad. It operates at the district level and looks after the rural areas of the district. The Zilla Parishad is a corporate body having perpetual succession and a common seal. It has the power to acquire, hold, and dispose of property and to enter into contracts. As a corporate body, it can be sued. While Zilla Parishad happens to be the most commonly used name for this top tier of the Panchayati Raj, in Assam it is known as Mahakuma Parishad. In Tamil Nadu and Karnataka it is known as District Development Council. Now, let us come to the composition of Zilla Parishad. 10 to 25 directly elected members from all the constituencies falling within the area covered by the Zilla Parishad. Approximately 50,000 people elect one representative. All chairmen of Panchayat Samitis falling within the area of Zilla Parishad. MPs and MLAs representing the area. Such MPs and MLAs whose name stand registered as voters in any constituency of the Zilla Parishad. So this is the composition of Zilla Parishad. The chairman and vice chairman of Zilla Parishad are elected from amongst their members, one person as the chairman and another as vice chairman. Then 1/3 of all the chairmanship of the Zilla Parishad are reserved for women members and some of they are reserved for members belonging to scheduled caste. The main function of the chairman is to preside over the meetings of Zilla Parishad. He exercises administrative supervision and control over the chief executive officer and other officials of Zilla Parishad. Now there's a quorum for meetings of Zilla Parishad. How many members should be there? So the majority of total membership of Zilla Parishad is the quorum for its meeting. That means majority of the total members has to be there to start the meeting of Zilla Parishad. Then how many times Zilla Parishad meets? It meets once in 3 months. Anyhow, special meetings also can be held when requested in writing by 1/3 of its members. Otherwise, it meets once in 3 months. Then there are various committees also in Zilla Parishad. Then there is a provision for reservation of seats for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. There are different functions which are performed by Zilla Parishad. Under civic facilities and welfare functions, they look after the development of agriculture. They set up and maintain warehouses, train the farmers, and land reclamation and conservation. They also look towards the development of irrigation, water utilization. Also, they look towards rural electrification. Not only that, they supervises the work of Panchayat Samiti, which falls under it. And also, the government promotes e-governance in order to monitor the functioning of Panchayat Samitis. Then, there are some advisory functions which are performed by Zilla Parishad. They advises the state government regarding need of the people in rural areas, whatever needs are there in those areas. It receives funds from union as well as the state government, which is distributed among the Panchayat Samitis. Then there are some developmental functions. Some programs are introduced by Zilla Parishad to alleviate poverty, and also they provide irrigation and electrification facilities. They look towards public housing, rural housing. They also, look for spreading education. They take steps for the welfare of weaker sections of the society. They undertake poverty alleviation programs. They celebrate national festivals. They organize cultural meets and festivals, and also they encourage small savings. So these were the functions of Zilla Parishad, which is the apex body at the Panchayati Raj. So this was all about the local self-government at the rural level. There is one more level, that is the urban level. So in urban level, I'll explain you in the next video. Thank you, children.